The new Kartal Dr. Lütfi Kırdar City Hospital will hopefully be auspicious for our city, for our country and our people. In the beginning of my words, I would like to remember the late Dr. Lütfi Kırdar, a man of cause and service, and who was also a friend at cause with Adnan Menderes. For 12 years, Dr. Lütfi Kırdar served Istanbul as a mayor and a governor. And he, during the Menderes government, served also as the Minister of Health. He spent his life serving for his country. His death, unfortunately, was very tragic. He was tried in the Yassıada trials, and he was one of those who took his share, unfortunately, from those unfair trials. In Yassıada, he was tried for many fabricated allegations. One was about May 27-28 student incidents encouraged by CHP. There were many lies flying around. Some claimed that people were slaughtered and even put into machines. And the judge calls Dr. Lütfi Kırdar to come to the stand, and Salim Başol was the tribunal chair. And he asked a question which was not relevant to the cause or the trial itself. He says, "You served a lot for Istanbul. Why did you resign from CHP and became a member of Democrat Party?" And when the late Dr. Lütfi Kırdar started his words and said Democrat Party, he felt bad and wanted permission to take a seat. But the president of the tribune did not allow him, and his heart could not bear so much unfairness, unfortunately. On February 17, he was taken out of the courtroom, guarded by two soldiers, and he dies, unfortunately, in front of the eyes of his son and family members, as well as his wife. And he wrote a letter, and this letter was of great importance, showing his love, compassion for his country. He said, "My dear wife, my dear son, I hope you are all right. I am also all right. After I write this letter, I will take my way to my duty." I call it a duty, he says, because it is a duty, and it is of our services. And if our services lead to outcomes, it will be by the grace of God, he says. I am at ease in my conscience. I am feeling comfortable because throughout my life I have not only been honest and decent, but I worked with a lot of sacrifices, he says. And I think my challenges were of my fate. No matter what happens, you should feel at ease. Dr. Lütfi Kırdar. Unfortunately, he did not have any other chance to see his family and have another chance to meet them, his son and his wife. And the funeral took in Istanbul, and it took into a silent reaction of the Istanbulites against the military coup. Tens of thousands of Istanbulites to express their resentment ran to his funeral. And our nation has always, of course, shown their resistance. And they stood against the coup makers, putschists, and they have never forgiven those people. And back in time, they had not done so. While on the other hand, they embraced such people of cause with love and respect. Now, distinguished colleagues, distinguished guests, we are going to inaugurate Dr. Lütfi Kırdar City Hospital, and it is one of the biggest of Istanbul. In 1987, this hospital came in operation with a bed capacity of 187, but in time it started falling short to meet the demands. And the old hospital was not earthquake resistant, according to the studies conducted. Therefore, to reduce the seismic risk in Istanbul, a project was initiated and the old hospital was deconstructed. And in place, a high technology product, a state-of-art hospital was constructed. We made our decisions accordingly. And we wanted the new hospital to become Istanbul, but we also wanted it to be eco-friendly as well as earthquake-resistant. This is what we, in particular, asked for. It was based on an investment volume of $616 billion, while it has many conference rooms, green areas, car parks, indoor and outdoor areas of thousands of square meters, and we have adorned our city with this hospital. We have totally 1,105 beds capacity in these hospitals and more than 150 ICU rooms. And as my friend said, with some 800 isolators, it is one of the most earthquake-resistant facilities built in Istanbul. With its equipment, with the infrastructure, and with all the state-of-art technologies, daily 3.5 million outpatients and about 1 million inpatients will be taken under treatment at this hospital. We plan to have about 100,000 operations to be performed at this hospital annually, and we will expand the hospital with the oncology hospital, special oncology hospital, to be added to the premises. This way we will increase the bed capacity over 1,200. Distinguished guests across the world, almost 550,000 people lost their lives due to COVID-19. And COVID-19 once again showed us the importance of health and health infrastructure. Even the most developed countries were caught unprepared for such a pandemic, while on the other hand, we always reiterated one thing. We always said that there is nothing more important than a healthy breath of life. And this is what Kanuni Sultan Süleyman his words, and he gave us this inspiration, and we did what we could, all in our power, and we will continue to do so, because health is an issue of great importance. And during the pandemic, we have served with our thousands of ICU beds and 4,000 healthcare centers, many hospitals, and with more than 1.1 million healthcare professionals, an army of healthcare professionals, if you will. And we have further reinforced our healthcare infrastructure with the recently commissioned and constructed new hospitals. With all the measures we have taken and all the methodologies we have adopted, we have been one of those countries who has seen the effects of the impact of coronavirus in the least fashion. And Dr. Lütfi Kırdar City Hospital will also contribute tremendously to our combat against coronavirus. We have always cared for our people, never ignored their rights for receiving healthcare services and treatment. In many places we have seen footages or image in which we could see even healthcare professionals were deprived of wearing healthcare equipment or masks. while on the other hand we have always been sufficient and did not face any problems in terms of providing face masks, overalls, gloves, or other healthcare related equipment and products. And we did not make our citizens bear high burdens of expenses from diagnosis to treatment and to every other relevant issue. We delivered services to our citizens free of charge. Every single citizen of this country, 83 million people of this country, received healthcare services free of charge. And we, on the other hand, have never made any indiscrimination among people, regardless of their roots or ethnicities or religions, beliefs or whatsoever. We also provided a lot of healthcare products and supplies. We, on the other hand, managed to produce our own ventilators, designed and produced by Turkish engineers, and now we are at the stage of even exporting those ventilators. In many continents of the world, Turkish products, ventilators, are now in use, and we see an ever-increasing level of interest for the healthcare services provided by our country. And healthcare, in terms of healthcare tourism, we have a new window of opportunity, if you will. We have a target to make Turkey the healthcare hub of 3 continents. And Dr. Lütfi Kırdar City Hospital of Kartal District, I believe, will bring us even one more step closer to our goals. And in terms of economy or personal relations or business relations, in many fields of life, we have seen a new incident that has impacted us all tremendously. Other than a social crisis, we have been faced with a crisis which brings some other, of course, dimensions, social, political, economic dimensions and challenges. It is never easy to stand tall and strong against such of course, a challenge. And it is a reality that we have to live with that reality for a long while, maybe, for a little longer, and face all the realities in their most naked way. And the most important thing in our combat against coronavirus is to protect ourselves not to be infected and bring the risk of infection down to minimum. And with no doubt, we have to, for that reason, change our habits. As you know, we have now a slogan, and we say it is now enough, and we have to be complying with the rules and principles of wearing a mask, social distancing, and as well paying attention to personal hygiene and cleanliness. And we see that our people pay further attention to such rules and principles, especially in indoor areas, workplaces, sanctuaries, public transportation. We see more and more people wearing their face masks. And I make a call to all my citizens for them to quit smoking, because cigarettes also are one of the most important contributors for further suffering of COVID-19. And some gatherings, for example, funerals, or sending our family members off for their military service, such things should not be welcomed. When we are sending our children, our friends off for their military service, we should be careful and not gather. And we will not allow any further gathering in Istanbul or celebrations. When there is a celebration of people gathered, we will make the warning, because these people are our responsibility, and they will be serving for the military, and it is important to protect their health. And being precocious does not mean being ignorant. According to our belief, you have to first take your measures and then contemplate. Therefore, we have to normalize our lives in a controlled fashion and always stick to the measures. I ask my citizens and invite them to be more careful about those measures we have been complying and trying to comply with. With those thoughts, I wish that this newly constructed and now integrated hospital of Dr. Lütfi Kırdar will be auspicious for our country, for our city, and our people. I would like to thank to everyone for their contributions, and I once again commemorate the late Dr. Lütfi Kırdar and all the other politicians who spent their lives for the sake of this country, and remember them with gratitude. I would like to extend my love and respect to each and every one of you. Thank you very much and stay in health.
Şimdi şöyle bir canlı bağlantı yapacağız
Now
ve
we will
bu canlı bağlantıda
have a live streaming,
önce acil
and
kliniği
through video
sorumlusu
conferencing,
doktor
we will connect
Erdal
to Dr. Erdal
Yılmaz
Yilmaz,
Bey'le
who is responsible
inşallah
for
karşı
emergency
karşıya
cases.
olacağız. Erdal Bey bizi duyuyor musun?
Mr. Yilmaz, can you hear us?
Ve şimdi
Yes, Mr.
sağlık
President.
kliniği sorumlusu doktor
And
Mehmet
we
Mustafa
also
Altuntaş.
have
O da
Dr.
yine
Altuntaş,
karşımızda.
who is responsible
Evet.
for
Biz şimdi kendilerini
health
öncelikle
tourism.
dinliyoruz. Hocam buyurun.
Now we will leave the floor to them. Mr. President, we would like to welcome you to our hospital. Thank you very much. Kartal Dr. Lütfi Kırdar City Hospital emergency area. Emergency room has been established in a very large area. We have 13 intensive care units. We have emergency response and also medical hold areas, state-of-art technologies, MRI devices, tomography devices. This hospital has been equipped with the state-of-art technologies. It is a modern emergency hospital. And to our emergency services, we have about 3,000 patients presenting on a daily basis. We have helicopters, ambulance helicopters, and airplanes, and we also admit hospitals from other cities of the country and also from abroad. We have 112 ambulances, and this is one of the most patient-admitting hospitals of our country. We also, other than the emergency medical unit, have 16 other specialized units where we take patients under treatment 24/7. Every patient receives diagnosis and treatment services. And during the pandemic era, we have prepared a pandemic plan. Other than routine examination activities, we also, during the pandemic period, have had a chance to diagnose and treat thousands of patients. And we know that other than treatment and emergency response, it is of crucial importance that we accurately diagnose the patients of trauma cases, and those patients are taken under treatment at our hospitals in a very speedy way. In Kartal, building collapsed and many trauma patients were brought to our hospital. Orthopedics, ophthalmology, brain surgery, emergency response teams, and all the other teams and our healthcare professionals treated our patients on a multidisciplinary approach, and we treated each and every citizen in the best way possible. And then in 2012, an aircraft accident took place in Sabiha Gökçen Airport, and all the patients brought to our hospital with the leadership of our chief physician were taken under treatment successfully, and they all were discharged. Mr. President, thanks to your vision, our country in the field of health is one of the most developed, and we have even left many developed countries behind. This goes the same for many other fields other than health. We would like to thank you very much. I also would like to thank to Dr. Yilmaz. He said something important. Currently, our city hospitals, I would like to assertively state that, is the #1 in Europe. And it is one of the few across the world. So I do claim that we are the #1 in Europe in terms of our city hospitals and among the top of the world. And thank God we are at this level. And after this point, of course, with further activities to be undertaken, we will render our hospitals an attraction point in the field of health tourism. You might ask why we built Yeşilköy Hospital in Yeşilköy district. We built it only in 45 days because we thought the patients could be able to go to the hospitals with air ambulances and even go and present to the hospitals by walking after they land. And again, we said to ourselves we should build another hospital in Sancaktepe district where we have a military airport, because we wanted our people, all the people interested in receiving healthcare services, to land at the airport and make their way easily to the hospitals and receive treatment at these hospitals, each of which has a bed capacity of 1,000, more than 1,000. And additionally, we, as you reckon, did construct Pine and Sakura Tree Hospital in a European side of Istanbul. But now in the Asian side of Istanbul, we now have another city hospital, Dr. Lütfi Kırdar City Hospital. And right next to us, we have the Sabiha Gökçen Airport. God forbid, if there is an emergency case, people can make their way easily. In Sakarya, an explosion took place. Many patients were brought to the hospitals with severe burning, and I don't know why they did go to other hospitals, but now our citizens can present to our hospitals, our healthcare centers, where there's specialization of severe burning. And at our city hospitals, patients of trauma or traumatological types of treatment and other cases of severe burning and many other healthcare problems will be addressed at the hospital in a healthy and successful and effective way. Now we will leave the floor to our doctor from the Healthcare Tourism Department of the hospital. Mr. President, thank you very much for giving me the floor. The stronger our hospitals are, the better we will be in delivering services in healthcare tourism. So we have a hospital tourism center here, and here we treat many cancer patients, lung cancer or brain cancer or tumors and many other business lines, many other special fields in medicine. And our purpose here is to concentrate on patient satisfaction and deliver healthcare services in a fast, speedy, and effective manner. And we also aim to make our country one of the top of the world. And during the pandemic, we obtained a lot of success, and we want to crown our success with further success to come in the field of healthcare tourism. As you said, Sabiha Gökçen Airport is very close to our hospital premises, and it will be of great use that our patients can be transported immediately to the hospital after they land. Now we have a special guest I would like to show in to you. Abdul Kadir is only 4 years old. He was operated on for 4 times, and his parents brought him to our hospital. He had a tumor in his brain, and he now has gone through an operation, a very serious operation. Now we have his parents with us. Abdul Kadir is his name. Abdul Kadir, would you like to say hi to everyone? Now I can see Abdul Kadir is now saluting us with the greeting of a soldier. You can see how he greets us. Abdul Kadir, do you feel any pain, my child? Does Abdul Kadir have any pain? When will you discharge him, doctor? Mr. President, we will probably discharge him in a couple of days. Now he's making a sign, pointing at something, maybe her mother. Is he pointing at us or his mother? Did he like his car? So he loved the toy. That's great. May he recover soon. I wish all the best for him. How many other siblings does he have? 3 other. So now you have been following our instructions, but it is not only your skills, it is his mother's skills. So congratulations, and I once again wish for a quick recovery for our child. And now we will be connecting to the oncology building of the hospital, thermotherapy facilities. Now we see Dr. Sevda Cömert, who is responsible for pulmonary diseases. Mr. President, welcome. I am responsible at this hospital at the pulmonary diseases department. We have all the treatment and diagnosis means at our hospital, and unfortunately we diagnose many patients every year with lung cancer. All the procedures are safely practiced at our hospital for a pulmonary medicine clinic. We have EBUS also, an airway bronchoscopy sampling method. We also have devices, equipment prepared for those purposes, and we have been using those equipment for a very long time, and we are experienced. And in terms of EBUS, this hospital is a center. Every year bronchoscopic procedures and EBUS procedures are done for thousands of people every year, and when the patients present, we complete all the procedures in a week, and in a speedy manner we continue with the rest of the treatment to come. For EBUS, our diagnosis success rate is for 94%, And this is a figure that is equal to the success rate of many EBUS centers and bronchoscopy centers in the world. We would like to thank you very much for giving us the chance and extend my love and respect. I would like to also thank to you all, and I also would like to thank to the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Industry and Trade, and all the other relevant authorities. Now we are able to produce our own ventilators, and we have received a lot of orders placed by many countries. So MRI, ultrasonography, and tomography devices, hopefully we will be producing all those locally. So we should not be concerned if we will have access to such devices or equipment, but we should always be at ease that we will have access to those services in our country, and we will also be able to produce and even export those equipment to the rest of the world. And Dr. Kadir Gönen, who is a doctor serving at the Pulmonary Medicine Clinic of the hospital. Now you have the floor. Mr. President, thank you very much. Annually, we do treat almost 1,000 patients every year. We also have a closed system lung cancer operations successfully performed at our clinics for more than 7 years. I also received training during my residency, and I also from the Heidelberg University of Germany and China's Shanghai Pulmonary Diseases Hospital received trainings, and now I can say that the operations we perform here are done with more developed techniques and also better infrastructure. I would like to thank you very much for giving us the chance. I would like to thank to the Minister of Health and also the Chief Physician of our hospital, and of course to you. I also would like to thank you very much. Hopefully all the trainings, all the education you have received will be to the good of every person in this world. Now we leave the floor to our specialist from radiation clinic. This clinic has an experience of 25 years, and we treat 25,000 patients every year. So this is one of the biggest oncology centers of the world. We have 6 radiotherapy devices at our center. Technologically, we do not fall short in any type of oncological disease. I would like to take pride to say, Mr. President, that the infrastructure of our center is even more advanced than many oncology centers established in developed countries of the world. So I would like to thank to you, to the Minister of Health, and also to the Chief Physician of our hospital. I also would like to thank you very much. You know that our doctors are of great value for us, and our patients, whenever they have cure, they pray for our doctors, our physicians, and our physicians always stand with us, are always with us. I would like to thank you very much. Now we are connecting to the angiography unit, and there we have Dr. Erdem Gürkaş responsible for that unit. Mr. President, Erdem Gürkaş, Associate Professor responsible for invasive therapy. I received training in Paris for about 2 years, and I made my way back to our country, and we have had the chance back in time with the chief physician of our hospital, and we exchanged a lot of opinion, and he encouraged me a lot for this interventional radiography department. And we know that stroke is a significant, is a severe disease, and every year 17 million people across the world, and in Turkey about 2,000 patients experience strokes. And when these patients experience that stroke or paralysis, of course they face a lot of challenges, and they
büyük bir sosyal ve ekonomik anlamda ciddi kalıcı bir yük getirmektedirler. Ancak
also are of our responsibility in the healthcare services of our country, and of course a lot of responsibility for their families. But many patients, when they present to our hospitals with a diagnosis of strokes or clogging in cerebral vents, they are treated, and we have a center which is of state-of-art technologies, so we can do what is done across the world, in especially the developed centers of the world. We are also cooperating with many centers from the USA and Europe, and we have even developed our own techniques which now are recognized across the world. We served as a pandemic hospital during COVID-19 period, but we continued with our services in treatment of stroke cases. We through helicopter ambulances and also over the land transported our patients to our hospitals, and treated them 24/7, and helped many, and prevented them from being physically challenged or disabled. We have this new center of stroke, and we are now turning this center into a training center for stroke and stroke-related diseases. And the Ministry of Health also now provides a lot of international chances to participate to many international projects. Treating stroke cases demands multidisciplinary approach and teamwork, and we work with many team members here, the oncologists, radiologists, nurses, and orderlies, and a lot of people, of course, all the physicians and everyone involved. So I would like to use this opportunity and thank to them, and thank to you, Mr. President, for the opportunity you have given to us. I also would like to thank you very much. Of course, we need to have higher number of centers for such diseases, for the treatment of such diseases. But of course, it is of great importance to increase the number of our physicians and nurses and all other healthcare professionals. And of course, as the professors of the field, you have a task to take over here. Hopefully, the education and training you received in France, in Paris, and in other parts of the world will help you train new professionals, healthcare professionals of the future. I would like to thank you very much. Now we will be leaving the floor to Dr. Fehmi Küçük, who is responsible for the renal diseases. Mr. President, first of all, I would like to welcome you. Dr. Lütfi Kırdar City Hospital Organ Transplantation Center is under my responsibility. For about 20 years, we have been operating and performing organ transplantation, renal transplantation operations from the Qatars, and also in regular transplantation methods. From the Middle East to Africa, from Asia to the Americas, we have delivered services in renal transplantation. During the pandemic period, we had a pause for the operations of transplantation, but now I would like to state that we have resumed our services, and would like to share this good news with you all. And thank you a lot. All right, I would like to thank you very much. This facility is, of course, of great importance. In the past, we did not have any chance to go for organ transplantation or perform such operations, and people had to, of course, go to other countries, maybe Europe, to the US, for such treatments. But now it gives us a lot of joy that we are able to perform such transplantation operations ourselves, and it is, of course, of great importance that you have managed to offer healthcare services to many people. Now we have come to the end of our video conferences, and now we will proceed with the inauguration, the opening ceremony of the Dr. Lütfi Kırdar Hospital. Distinguished participants, His Excellency President Erdoğan now will be cutting the ribbon to inaugurate the Lütfi Kırdar, Dr. Lütfi Kırdar City Hospital, and we would like to now invite the Minister of Health, the Governor, and also PARTİ City President and the contracting company representatives, Mr. Kalyoncu, to the stage to join Mr. President for the inauguration ceremony.
Evet, şöyle sembolik de olsa bayan milletvekillerimizden hiç olmazsa iki tanesini alalım.
So maybe we should also invite our female MPs to the stage. Two of them are here with us, but we should be careful about social distancing, physical distancing.
Veya ön tarafa alalım. İffet Hanım. Mustafa Bey, şöyle gelin. Erol Bey, ön tarafa da.
Mustafa Erol Bey, you can also
Ravza
come
Hanım
to the front.
Tamam, sizler öne. Fiziki mesafeye dikkat, ön tarafa.
In front of the stage.
Şeyma Başkanı da alalım.
But be careful about social distancing. We should
Öyle
also
sarılmak yok.
have
Fiziki mesafe.
Chairperson Şeyma here with us
Fatih gelsene.
on the stage. But we should not give ourselves
Başka
one
gel
another
bakalım.
hugs. We should be careful about social distancing.
Milletvekillerimizi alalım, yalnız fiziki mesafeye
But
dikkat.
we should be careful about social physical distancing. We invite some other members of
Şöyle
parliament to the
fiziki
stage
mesafeye
or
dikkat.
to stand in front of the stage. But careful about social distancing.
Ha, Rabia Hanım nerede?
Rabia,
Rabia Hanım nerede?
Miss Rabia, is she here? Where is she?
Rabia şöyle gel.
You can come over here, Rabia.
Kartal Kadın Kolları da buradaymış.
And we, I guess, have the representative of Kartal District women's branches of
Fiziki
AK Party.
mesafeye dikkat.
But be careful about social distancing.
Evet.
All right.
Hazır mıyız?
Are we ready?
Evet, Kartal Doktor Lütfi Kırdar
Yes.
Şehir
Kartal
Hastanesi
Dr. Lütfi Kırdar City
tüm
Hospital
ilimize
hopefully will be
insanlığa
auspicious for
hayırlı
our
olsun
city,
diyoruz.
for the
Ya
for the
Allah.
humanity.
Bismillah.
Değerli konuklar, Kartal Doktor Lütfi Kırdar Şehir Hastanesi'nin açılış merasimi burada sona erdi. Açılış törenini katılımlarıyla onurlandıran, başta Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımız olmak üzere tüm konuklarımıza teşekkür ediyor, saygılar sunuyoruz efendim.
Yılların İstanbul Kartal Dr. Lütfi Kırdar Eğitim ve Araştırma Hastanesi, yeni bina ve ileri teknoloji yatırımlarının gerçekleştirildiği yoğun